Next up, we have Kami no Kotoba by Luschka. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, and you're watching in the video archive or whatever, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. We just got monetized, so consider dropping one of the memberships. We might be doing members-only content with the form of like non-video game music very, very soon. I'm still figuring that out, but it's probably gonna happen. And couple of disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time hearing the track. So I will be pausing a lot. I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. Number two, this is done in a single take. It's done in a single take, so I might stumble upon my words, like I just did here and there, and we'll just take it for what it is, right? Recently, I did mess up my shoulder. It is a lot better now, but, you know, it's still here and there. It still distracts me a little bit. So, let's do this. Let's check this out. Kami no Kotoba. Let's see what we got. Okay, 9 seconds in, we have a very, very lovely start, kind of like tuning in, or back in the old days, back when CRT TVs were still a thing, sometimes it would take a moment for the television to actually be able to tune in to whatever it is you were trying to tune in. Or with radio even, sometimes it would take a moment for the signal to fully catch on. That's kind of what we're getting over here, because one of the things you need to understand about music is that unless it's a live concert recording, every single sound that goes into the track is intentional. And in this case, I would qualify this as something like instrumentation or even orchestration. Once again, let me go through the concept real quick. When it comes to instrumentation / orchestration, it is the study of figuring out the right instruments for the right sounds. This is pretty basic it can be as basic as it can be complicated. However, there are two main reasons why you want to pick the right instrument. One, the sound. Of course, you want the right sound, the right texture, everything like that. And number two, you want to elicit the right psychological response. So having that static at the start is an artistic choice, especially because it went on for a solid 5 seconds. But it gives you that sense of tuning in. And of course, we tune in, we get this like distant, faded away, like very, very filtered out synth. Kind of sounds like a little bit of a chime, giving us what sounded like could be the start of our motif. The motif, of course, being the smallest version of your musical idea. The seed from which everything else comes from. Let's see where this goes. Oh, we introduce the drums. So yeah, we introduced the drums. Very, very, very lovely. And we are doing repetition. We are having a little bit of variation here and there, but the overall melody is the same, because when it comes to keyboards, usually you will have two hands. Usually when you're playing a keyboard instrument, you will play with two hands. The right hand will usually be on the higher end, playing the melody, and the left hand will usually be on the lower end doing the accompaniment. So when it comes to keyboard instruments, like the one we're hearing right now, the synth, that is a keyboard instrument. A synth is going to be the keyboard instrument, it's going to have samples, whatever the sample this is, lovely, lovely sample. And we are having the right hand doing this very lovely melody, this half melody, half arpeggio. Arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time, and then the other hand is doing the actual chords. So the right hand is carrying the motif, and it's repeating the motif. Because when it comes to motific development, there are many things you can do for the melody. There are many, many things you can do for the melody. You get them by watching Farley. And in this case, we're just doing straight up repetition while the other hand is doing the chord changes. So the landscape, the foundation is changing a little bit while everything else is doing this thing. Herrera, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. Let's see where this goes. Okay, two things. Number one, I love the electronic music being able to interrupt itself, kind of like that kill switch in a guitar. It's so beautiful. We do that in a way that serves as a transition. Kylo Ren's welcome to today. And we are doing a very, very, very important thing. We had the faded out, like it was distant keyboard. Now it's a lot more further in front of us. And as a result, it feels more present. The drums, the keyboard, and we added other synths. We added a couple of other synths there doing more ambiance, it sounds like. But that first keyboard is still playing the same motif. Gizzy bro, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Let's see where this goes. Okay, yes, so these ones, they are doing counterpoint. They're doing counterpoint. Counterpoint is when you have more than one melody playing at the same time, usually independent melodies interacting with one another. So, they are doing very simple arpeggios, but while we are having the main motif doing like this very lovely cascade, we are having the other arpeggios going upwards and downwards and upwards and downwards, all at the same time. So while the main motif is giving us this very lovely cascade, kind of over time, kind of falling down, we are having this other motif further down, giving us a more fluid sense. It's a very, very good way of establishing more pace, a faster pace, without having to speed up pretty much anything else. Let's see where this goes. Oh, this isn't a piece, this is a song. Among the Couch, welcome today. This is a song. Okay, so we introduce a vocalist. Very lovely voice. Very, very lovely voice. And yeah, no, it's pretty good. A pretty lovely voice. Let me hear it again. I wanna hear the first. Okay, so the voice is doing two things. One, it is doing counterpoint to the main motif, which is fairly unusual when it comes, because usually you want the vocal line to be the main focus, the main motif, but she's doing counterpoint to that main motif. And second, she's doing, we're going into our first colloquial term of the day. Colloquial means there is no official academic term for it, or I'm not going to use it for the purposes of illustrating my point. I call this the flying melody. So she's going from doing counterpoint to doing a flying melody. It is very, very, very lovely. Dante, welcome to today. Thank you for the follow. And when it comes to a flying melody, we have a fairly busy bass line, drum line. We're having, the motif and the middle line, the middle range. Everything is pretty nice and busy. And then up above, we have the vocalist in this case giving us a slower melody at points. Like, it seems like at points she's doing more of hopping and then she goes on flying. Slower than everything else, just soaring and flying above everything else. It's a very, very lovely feeling. And it just works beautifully. So let's see where this goes. Okay. And on top of that, she's doing syncopation. She's doing the vocal line is syncopated. So, what is syncopation? Let's go over this concept for those of you who are new here. When it comes to rhythm in music, you want to be able to notate things in your measure. And when it comes to that, you need a time signature. Time signature, of course, two numbers, one on top of the other. Top number, number of notes in a measure, the measure being the smallest subdivision that you have of time, usually for organizational purposes so that music makes sense, and the lower measure, the type of notes. In English, it's a super easy system. Whole notes is 1, half notes is 2, quarter notes is 4, eighth notes 8, so on and so forth. So in this case, 4 quarter notes per measure. And when it comes to this, you will be counting on the beat 1 through 4 for each of the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of thing. So that is when you are on beat. When you do syncopation is when you do things in between the beats. When you're playing against the beat instead of with the beat. So in that case, if my snapping of the fingers were to be our instrument, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That second part was syncopation, and it gives us that sense of notion moving forward, and it just speeds things up. Welcome back, Runaya. So that's what the vocalist is doing. So part of it is doing counterpoint, doing syncopation, and then the other part is doing a beautiful flying melody, which, again, fairly unusual for vocal lines, but it's working very nicely. Oh, another moment. Over here, another colloquial term. Going off the ramp. When you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you are resolving that tension. That moment in between we call a cadence. So, a very good way of doing a cadence, of giving you that very, very cool transition point, is to go off the ramp. What do I mean by that? Remove the drums, remove the bass, and now it feels like you're up, suspended up in the air. We had that for a split moment, and it was very, very good for the drop. Oh, Willoughby, welcome today. How you doing? And we are... So the previous section we did, we could call that the verse. And now we are in the chorus. So usually the main differences, functionally speaking, between a verse and a chorus is that a verse is going to be a lot about going through text. It's going to be faster paced, and it's usually about going through as much verse as you can. A chorus is usually going to focus more on a melody. You might repeat things a little bit more, and it is focusing more on the musicality of things. So right now, our first section, the first time we heard the voice doing that syncopation, that flying melody, that was the verse, and now we are doing a chorus. And yes, so vibrato is a very, very lovely technique. It's pretty difficult to achieve, which is usually when you're singing music, you are singing the different notes, right? And there is a technique, vibrato, which is instead of singing one note, you kind of start bouncing back and forth between the notes to give the voice a little bit more vibration in that sense. So instead of singing ooh, you sing ooh. So it's a little bit different, slightly different, but it's it adds more drama to it. It is used a lot in opera because it also helps the voice reach longer distances. So, let's see where this goes. Yeah, that little tail end, that's vibrato. Another thing I'm catching right now, the motif is inverted now. So when it comes to motific development, as we discussed before, there is another thing called inversion. So the melody that we had at the start was mainly going downwards. Right now, the melody that we have is going onwards. It is inverted, it's flipped upside down. It changed which synth it is, so it took me a moment to realize what was going on. But this one is going up instead of down, and still we are doing a lot of counterpoint in a bunch of this stuff. It's really, really nice. It's really nice. So, yeah, and then we have the other instruments doing still the same type of counterpoint. The other synths are still arpeggiating around. It's very lovely. Let's see where this goes. Another going off the ramp moment. Oh, that was her singing. Okay, so there you go. She did a pedal tone. That was beautiful. So we had a moment of going off the ramp, and then we added a pedal tone. A pedal tone is literally hold the same note. Just hold the same note for an extended period of time. The difference between a pedal tone or a pedal note, those are interchangeable, and a drone, for example, is that a drone is made more to be accompaniment. It's meant to be accompaniment. So the hurdy-gurdy, the moninghur, those are drone instruments where you are expected for one of the notes to be continuously there, more on the bass line. And of course, the other version of this, the more extrapolated version of this, would be the ostinato. The ostinato is when you have an idea, a musical idea, repeating over and over and over and over again. For example, the arpeggios that we are having right now, the motif being repeated, those could be ostinato, because they're repeating the exact same way over and over. No, Among the Couch, we reset list every time. So let's do this. Let's see where this goes. So yes, we have the origin of that very lovely... I like how the main motif is kind of in the back. This is fairly unusual, because usually the motif is going to be front and center, but this time it's in the back. It's just there. It's just there. Bjorn Ponsor, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome to the day. How you doing? And in exchange, the counterpoint is what is taking front stage. It is... I'd never seen that. Not to this extent. It is interesting. It is interesting because the motif then acts as this common thread. Because usually, again, when you're making music, you need to keep a very careful balance between keeping things familiar and giving new material to your listener. And this time, the keeping things familiar is literally just nailing the same motif over and over again, but building the entire rest of the piece around it. Which, yeah, you want to build your piece around the motif, just I wasn't expecting it to be this literal. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, this is really good. Back to the verse we go. I know, Crows. I know. Yep, chorus once again. And it seems we're doing a straight up recapitulation, structurally speaking. So a recapitulation is just taking a musical structural section that you had before and using it again. So, strictly speaking, in musical terms, we had an intro, very, very lovely intro with the static, the introduction of the motif, and all that kind of stuff. Then we went to section A, which was our verse. We had our verse. We went to section B, which was the chorus, plus that very lovely post-chorus melody that we had. Now we are back to A, which is another verse. It could become a prime If it's not a full-on repeat, then it becomes a an A prime. Prime just means it's a variation. And it would still technically count as recapitulation since you're bringing A. We brought, so far, most of the elements from A are still there the same exact way. So to me, it seems like it's a straight-up recapitulation. Let's see. It's a variation. It's a variation. Okay, so we went from A prime, which was a shorter version of A, because the first time around we had A kind of repeated twice, kind of not, then B, which was a bit extended, now A, now we're off to C. I'm saying it. This is a rondo. Rondo is just, it means to go around. And it's a structure of music. Hey, I'm gonna call everything a rondo if I want. And so far, this is a rondo. So far, this is a rondo. Because we went from the intro to idea A to idea E, B, back to idea A, and now we are on to idea C. So, rondo time, let's go. Let's see where this goes. Because this is completely different. This could be a pre-chorus, could be a bridge, but oh man, those I just need to emotionally process those. She did a high point, but she did something that female vocalists tend to be a lot more capable of inciting this type of emotional response. But it was it was this very lovely high note, but she did a harmony to it. A harmonization, or she harmonized it, which is like you add more notes layered vertically to give it like the structure of a chord. But she did it on the lower end. The main melody was her going upwards, which is it's how I prefer doing the harmonization, because when it comes to harmony, you have two places where you can put the extra notes. Let's say we have a melody going on like this. Your harmony can be up above and be a higher point, which is usually what things like twin guitars do, or most melodies will have this. Or you can set it down below so that your main melody feels even more powerful. I need to refill the water bottle. So it was just very beautiful that she brought the harmonization. That the harmonization was kind of there, but it really came to play when she hit that high note. It really became relevant. Is one of my favorite structure? Not really, but it's the one that I gyrate towards a lot more. Like, the structure that I favor the most, it would be the AABA. That's the type that I gyrate towards the most, but there are many others. There are many others as well. All right, let's see. Let's see where this goes. I'm gonna refill my water bottle. Let's see. That's beautiful. And we reached a climax. So we have what a way to start the climax for the track. We hit that high note, she landed afterwards, and now we are having an instrumental break, adding as many of the elements that we have gotten so far in the track. Like, when it comes to a climax, you want to revisit as much of the material as you can. And in this case, this bridge, it's There you go. It is just a very, very well executed. It's very, very well executed. I'm really enjoying this. Let's see. T-Double, welcome to today. How you doing? And to respond to Empress, the reason why I knew this was the climax in my first listen is because I've studied music for about 15 years now, and I familiarized myself with most of these types of structures. So I would know that in a 4 to 5 minute piece, around minute 3 is when you want to introduce the climax. Like between minute 3 and minute 4, you want to introduce the climax. Because again, when it comes to most structures, you will want to have some sort of build up, a climax, and then a resolution. And this is roughly the timeline that you're going to be seeing. So yeah, and it's very well executed right now. Very, very well executed. So there you go. It's one of those things that the more you do something, the more you listen to things, the more you familiarize yourself, and the more you are able to tell these things apart. So yeah, let's see where this goes, because this is really lovely. Okay, we did. Oh. Hang on. Let me go back a few moments. Climax. We go up. We interrupt the climax by going off the ramp. With this, you can do a double climax. But now, interestingly enough, that's the motif. The motif is finally front and center. It is finally front and center. Wrong link? It's okay, real. We can change that afterwards. So, damn. Okay, so with this kind of bridge, that would make it a first climax. Because then what we did with the structure is that we were building, we did a climax, and then we brought it back down here. And from here, we can build another climax and then resolve it. So you can have this kind of sudden drop and cut, which does cause a little bit of whiplash, but it allows you to have a second climax, and that second climax could go even higher because of that. So, looks at dramatic art and literature. Many of these things, many concepts will overlap, usually speaking, because when you extrapolate the concept of a dramatic art, that is just experiencing a story. And experiencing a song, usually one way or another, is going to be the composer telling some sort of story. One way or another, the music tells a story. Every time there is some sort of story that is told via music, which is why many humans throughout time, we have developed such a taste for music, because music is a way of telling stories without having to use language. So it is something that you can intrinsically just evoke the emotions, and that's it. And of course, it's very pleasant. It can be very, very pleasant at the same time. So yeah, it is, roughly speaking, most of these would be similar to a story arc, a dramatic arc, that kind of thing, yeah. Because these concepts do overlap, because that's just what human beings like. So yeah, you're 100% right there, yeah. Let's hear it. Many think I kiss. Yeah, I might have misspoken there for a moment. Yes, most humans. So we are bringing in the elements one after the other. We bring that. So, to build up to this second climax, we are dropletting, like we're just dropletting, slowly feeding back one layer or multiple layers at a time. This is very well done. Because that means we first had that initial layer, and we did change around some of the mix here. So, for example, that counterpoint that we used to have that was in the foreground, now it is in the background. The motif is now in the foreground. Now we bring in back the vocals, but it's just the vocals. There's with a little bit of the ambiance. So we are bringing back a bunch of the stuff that we already had, building towards a climax that is not just a repetition, but yeah, you can absolutely, with this, you can build a second climax more powerful and it will just work. Let's see where this goes. And she's doing similar to a verse. And there you go. Going off the ramp. Going off the ramp with one of the most powerful tools a musician can possibly have. Silence. And this was used masterfully. Not just because she took away everything, like we took away all the instruments. We went completely off the ramp to the point that we could hear the vocalist breathing. That is a deliberate choice, because when it comes to audio recording, most vocalists will delete the points from when they're breathing in. However, this time we heard her every syllable breathing in. So that extra silence was filled in with that breathing, which is a form of white noise which our minds consider silence. But because there was so much more just now, it just made it. Yeah. Like to breathe, it's human? Yeah. And now, second climax. And we put a flying melody with her doing operatic singing at the very, very, very top. Very, very. Geronimo, welcome today. How you doing? So, yeah. There you go. Look at that. And it's multiple layers of her doing opera singing in pure soprano. Man, this is really good. And we bring this back down. Oh, this is really good. So we do the same thing that we did before after the first chorus, when we ended the section with a pedal tone, but now we're distorting it. We're doing active distortion to it. Oh. We're losing signal. We're losing signal. And that's how we end it. We bring back the concept of tuning in to the radio, and we lost signal. Man, this was beautiful. Man, this was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There you go. That was Kami no Kotoba by Luschka. What a piece. What a song. What a song. What a voice. What a voice. That was incredibly well made. That was beautiful, man. There you go. There you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what's happening here musically. If you are watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on notifications. Consider becoming a member. We might be bringing members-only content soon, so take that into consideration. And if you want to listen to this track in full, I will be leaving it in the description below. If you want to request a song and you're not watching this on the stream, check the description down below. I will be leaving a pinned comment as well with the rules on what to do. Basically, just go to the Discord, go to the LFA requests channel, and follow the instructions in the pinned messages. And if you want to watch these streams live on air, a link below in the description. Twitch channel and Discord, they both have the stream schedule showing in your local time zone so that you don't have to bother with them time zone calculations, because I know they're annoying. So yeah, there you go. There you go. That was Kami no Kotoba by Luschka. What a track, dude. What a track. But yeah, that's